Imagine sitting in absolute darkness tonight. Not the cozy darkness of your bedroom with a digital clock glowing in the corner, but a thick, heavy, terrifying blackness that swallows the entire world. Outside, the wind is howling. You can hear the leaves rustling, and every few minutes, you hear the snap of a twig nearby. Your eyes strain to see through the shadows, but you are completely blind. You know there are things out there with sharper teeth, bigger claws, and perfect night vision. To them, you aren't an apex predator. You are a slow, defenseless snack. And then, a tiny spark catches a handful of dry leaves. A bright, warm, golden flame bursts to life. Instantly, the terrifying shadows are pushed back 10 feet. The freezing air turns warm. The sound of moving predators retreats into the darkness because they fear the light. In that exact second, your entire biology shifts. Your heart rate drops. Your muscles relax. You take a deep, calm breath. We look at fire today as a cozy aesthetic, something we turn on with a switch in a fireplace, or a tiny flame we light on a scented candle while we scroll through our phones. But for our ancestors, fire wasn't an aesthetic. It was a superpower. It was the invention that completely rewrote what it meant to be human. To understand why ancient humans were so obsessed with fire, you just need to take a look at your own kitchen. If you want dinner, you open a plastic package, hit a button on a machine, and eat. But before fire, eating was a full-time, exhausting job. Raw meat is incredibly tough to chew. Raw roots and tubers are packed with complex starches that the human stomach can barely digest. Prehistoric humans had to spend up to 6 hours a day just chewing their food, burning massive amounts of energy just trying to break down the raw calories. But then, someone dropped a piece of meat into the flames. Cooking is essentially outsourcing your digestion to an external energy source. Fire breaks down the tough fibers. It neutralizes the dangerous bacteria. It unlocks massive amounts of calories that were previously impossible to reach. Suddenly, instead of spending all day chewing tough roots, you could finish a meal in a fraction of the time. This massive influx of easy, high-quality calories did something incredible. It fueled the rapid growth of the human brain. We didn't just capture fire because we were smart. We got smart because we captured fire. But the magic of fire didn't stop in the stomach. It completely changed the clock. Before fire, human life was strictly dictated by the sun. When the sun went down, your day was over. You climbed into a tree or hid in a cave and waited in terrified silence for the morning. Fire gave humans a second shift. It created the night. Your chunky green companion, the Triceratops, watches from the rug as you type away at midnight under artificial lights. The dinosaur tilts its head, completely baffled by how humans extended the day. For your ancestors, the campfire became the very first social media feed. It was the only light in a dark universe. People couldn't wander off into the dark, so they sat in a circle, facing each other. They shared the cooked food. They watched the embers dance. With nothing else to do, they started talking. They shared stories about the day's hunt. They invented myths to explain the stars. They passed down wisdom to their children. Language, culture, and community weren't built in the bright light of day while chasing mammoths. They were forged in the cozy, intimate glow of the evening fire. It was the first place crowds became a community. Now, the fire burns down to embers. You turn off your living room lights and climb into your soft, locked bedroom. You look at your smartphone screen, glowing with 47 unread notifications, feeling anxious about tomorrow's schedule. You look out the window at the quiet, empty streets lit by cold, artificial streetlights. Modern life has completely banished the dark, but somehow, we miss the warmth. We built a world where we are perfectly safe from wolves, yet our minds run all day, looking for monsters in our emails. You drop the phone. You close your eyes and listen to a fake rain track playing from a speaker. You realize that our obsession with screens isn't new. We are still the exact same animal that sat around the ancient blaze. We are still drawn to a flickering light in a dark room, staring into a glowing rectangle at midnight, hoping it will tell us a story that makes us feel safe. Because humans are humans, and whether it's a roaring campfire in the Paleolithic wild or a glowing screen in a modern bedroom, we are all just looking for a little bit of light to keep the shadows away. And if there happen to be a few orange dust triangles to roast over the coals, well, that's just survival.